Well, hello there, Konnichiwa, good morning to you all. Like I usually do on the morning, I usually into all three sites that I read some chapters of the manga that are being or that will be released in this week. I always give it a small peek or every morning before I go. In this case, I'm going to the university because of my Japanese classes. In any case, I was quite surprised to see that the Bleach 535 chapter is already came out. So, as it is, I will do now the review for Bleach chapter 535, Everything But the Rain, opening 8, The Defenders. So, this chapter starts with a black circle, and apparently this black circle is what is happening inside Masaki. And she senses that she is falling, and is falling down a black hole, a dark and a lonely place. Uh, but she also thinks that for some reason she is not scared and is certain that someone will be rescuing her. So then we see a huge hollow face appearing and trying to devour Masaki's soul. Then we go right out the badge to, I think that is Urahara shop, and where Urahara is speaking with Ishin and Ryuken, and he is saying that for the last 100 years he is researching the condition of this girl. Uh, and Ishin asks, so you are not the age you look, who are you? And he presents himself as Kizuke Urahara. And on the panel where the name is said, Ishin apparently recognizes the name, obviously. And he says that he was exiled from Soul Society, and Ishin is quite astonished to find him alive, apparently. However, on the other hand, Ryuken says, kinda nervous, that he don't care about who the hell the guy is. If he asks him if he can save Masaki, right? So turn her on the way she was. And Urahara explains that he did not want to say that he will make her go back to what she was, but because she will not become again what she was. Um, and he continues explaining that this process or this condition is called qualification. And he explains what is the meaning of qualification, that this means inserting a hollow soul into a normal soul, then breaking the boundary between them to try and turn the original soul into something more powerful. So he further explains that this technology originally, his goal was to strengthen the Shinigami souls, but they do not have the technology to control this process. And that the result in using this technique in a Quincy is quite different from the way this technique was synced originally. Ryuken continues to be surprised, and he says uncomfortable, but those that mean that we can save Masaki, and Masaki again explains, no, we simply can't make her go the way she was. However, we can save her life. Um, and he further continues his explanation that when a soul is hollowified, uh, as the condition progresses, the original soul gets mixed up with the hollow soul, becoming a monster unable to reason, and we saw a little flashback of Iori and Kensei. And in the end, not only the boundary between the souls, but also the one between the soul itself and the external world is disrupted, and the soul, regardless of its own will, self-destroys. This is called soul suicide. However, apparently, this is also what apparently happened to White. Since he goes attacking or try to holofy a soul that supposedly he was not true holofy, apparently after he finished his action, apparently his soul was destroyed in this process. Apparently. And Urahara continues explaining that in my 100 years of research I found a way to stop this soul suicide. And the way is insert a soul that is opposite to holification. And he further explains the destruction of the boundary between souls, which is the key to holification, happens by disrupting the balance of the souls. In other words, a conflicting object will restore the balance on the other side and stop the destruction. So he uses also an example that he created a vaccine years ago using a quincy arrow of light and human souls, and injected it into the souls of a few Shinigami that have been holified. These he is referring to the visors, obviously. And thanks to that, I was able to stop soul suicide in 100% of the cases. So this also explains why the visor survived the holification, because Urahara used quincy powers and inject it on them, and that stopped the process. And we again see a small flashback of, I think that is Lisa and Ashi. But that only stopped soul suicide, saving the girls' lives, preventing holification, and allowing her to live as a normal human would require a much stronger power. Something that will stay close to her until she dies, that will keep on blocking holification, a strong opposing power. And Ryuken goes nuts because he understood what Urahara intends to do. That basically is to pour Ishin's soul inside Masaki in a way to stop holification, because Ishin is the opposite force of a Quincy. Um, and he says to Ryuken that he is not the one who can make the choice. However, the one that can make the choice is Ishin Shiba. And this is again is quite interesting, because Urahara in fact knows who is Ishin. And he also explains the Jigai he created, that this is a special Jigai that is made from human souls and envelops the soul who enters it, becoming like a human body. In other words, if you enter in it, you will become a being between Shinigami and human. The opposite of Quincy's are Shinigamis, the opposite of Hollows are humans. You understand? And he also explains, if you use this, you will become a being completely opposite to her. This is your decision. However, this choice has too many demerits for you, because after he enters the body, he will not be used. He will not be able to use his Shinigami powers, and he also will not be able to see Hollows. And also after he entering the body, he will lose apparently his Shinigami powers, and that's the reason why Ishin loses his Shinigami powers. uh, Ryuken is concerned, uh, and Urahara also explains that also to make the shell work as a vaccine to block olification, I will have to tie to you with a reishi string both the girl's soul and the hole inside her. It's a string that binds souls, it's extremely strong. As long as it's connected, you won't be able to leave the shell. That is until the girl and the hole inside her are free from that string. In other words, I get it. Ishin then goes and I see, I understand. And he continues saying that, yeah, hurry up, doing it. And he says that I simply need to quit being a Shinigami and protect her for a lifetime, so I will do it. And Urahara asks if he does not have any regrets, and Ishin says he will mostly certainly have. However, he don't care because if he let her die, he on the day after that he will be ashamed with himself. So Ryuken is uh, emotional, I think, and sad at the same time. Um, and Urahara says, okay, let's go then, let's start the operation. And we again see Masaki almost being devoured by the hollow inside. And then Ishin appears in her soul and says, grabs Masaki and says, hey, I came to protect you. And that's the end of the chapter. And like I say on my preview video, this is a very important chapter. We also learn about a lot how Urahara helped the Vizards to stop the qualification process, and also explains how Ishin did lose his powers. He never used Final Getsu Potential because of that, and like I was saying on my preview video, he was forced to merge or pour a lot of his soul energy into Masaki, and in the process he abdicated from his Shinigami powers and saved Masaki. So apparently he will now be a regular human. Uh, I'm curious about what will happen on the next chapter. I will elaborate it a little more on these ideas when I present my preview video uh, at the end of the week. So for now, this is my review for Bleach 535. Hope you enjoy. If you have any ideas, theories, thoughts, please comment them below and let's discuss it. So, I need to go to the university, so stay well, peace, see you soon.